Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with Netta from Smackbound. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's been a lovely day in Helsinki, Finland. So, what's there not to like?
I know it's my home away from home.
Oh, it is? Really?
We went there this summer to visit friends and attend a festival, and Helsinki is definitely the place that my dream place to one day retire to.
Oh, that sounds great. Well, I love the city, of course. Yeah. So it's and especially in the summertime, it's beautiful, and a lot of festivals, like you said.
Yeah, there's always a lot of music in the city, a lot of great music in the city. And if you're a fan of rock, metal, perhaps the best place to visit in the whole world, I would say.
Yeah, that might be because there's a lot of metal bands in Finland.
Before we get deep into the new record, 2020, I have to ask you a few questions about how the whole band got started. So, for those that are not as familiar with Smackbound, give us a little bit of a history lesson. How did you get all of these guys to join you on this band?
I forced them. No, really. Another story goes like this. It was in 2015 that I decided that I want to put up this band, and I made 3 demo songs for this Smackbound, which didn't have the Smackbound name back then yet. And I we have our producing rooms, or we are all with Teemu and Tuomas, Teemu Mäntysaari and Tuomas Yliaskari, the guitarist and bass player of the band. We have our offices next to each other in Sonic Pump Studios in Helsinki. So we knew each other well, and I played the demos first to Teemu and asked like if he wants to join the band, and he said yes. And also Tuomas said the same thing, that he wants to be in the band. And then we discussed like who to get involved, who we want to be the drummer. Do they have any ideas? And Teemu knew Rolf Pilve, well, and said that Rolf might be interested. And I called Rolf, and he came in and listened to the songs and also got in. And the same way, Billy Itäpelto, our keyboardist, got in because they used to be in the same band with Tuomas Trace Dawn back a few years ago. So that's how we started out. Me writing the songs, and the guys uh, formed the band. And then we wanted to kind of check if we really work together or not. And we formed this Run for cover band and started doing gigs. So we toured about a year together to check how we work together playing live. And the band worked, the dynamics were great, and the team really worked, and we love each other's company. So in 2016, late, about a year after starting the gigs, we started writing songs together because I wanted everyone to get involved in the band more. So, and then we slowly wrote the songs because everybody was, well, as some people might know, these guys also have other bands,
Mhm.
and they were touring, and everybody had their busy schedules. So in bits and pieces, we did this album, and finally got it ready now, 2019.
When you guys were doing those shows with as Run for cover, obviously, like you said, you were testing the waters to see how you guys would gel together, playing these songs together. But at that time, did you guys get approached by fans with positive feedback on what you guys were doing, and even inquiring if there was going to be some original material coming out?
Yeah, yes, a lot of people were kind of telling us to do our own material. So they were kind of pushing us that way, and of course that was the plan all the way. But it wasn't about testing the waters, as in what comes to which kind of music we would be making. It was testing the waters if we get along well. So if we would, if we would not have gotten along so well, we would have changed the band. So yeah, so that was the waters we were testing. Like, can the guys put up with me, basically?
I was going to say, can you put up with them? Because that's quite the cast of characters you surrounded yourself with.
Yeah. I think we are all mastering putting up with the other ones. so we have quite personas in the band. But that's a good thing. I think the dynamics of different personas work well. So once that, someone is the accountant and someone is the total alcoholic, and it's like we have it all.
I think in a group of Finnish musicians, I think everybody has a little bit of alcoholic.
Yeah, but I think we're the least rock and roll band when it comes to that, because we have two guys, Teemu and Rolle, who are really athletic. So while us three, the others, Billy, Thomas, and I, are having a beer before the show, uh, Rolle and Teemu are doing push-ups. so yeah, it's a great balance. Yeah.
With so many talented musicians in this group, how do you guys divide the creative process behind the record?
Well, it's this first album was, we did it so that all of the songs are made in a summer cabin. So we drove to the woods for 3 days always, and just locked the doors and just wrote the songs. And it was basically whoever could join. So, but there was always myself and Tuomas and Dili. So the three of us were the kind of the core of the writing team. And Rolf and Teemu was present always when they had a chance, when they were not touring or something like that. But if they were not there when we were writing the song, then we just send it out, and like Teemu would then give his ideas on guitars and do it on his own time. So everyone has had a chance to influence and have their own kind of uh, language of music written into this. So it's been nice because in Smackbound, like we can now, for the first time, like we can see like Teemu writing songs more, and so people get to really chip in.
Yeah, it's a joint effort. It's not like you guys are depending on one single person. Even you have so much talent, you're spreading the talent across, and everybody has the same level of input.
Yes, that's what we're trying to do, and also trying to we are trying to kill all the elements of showing off. So whenever someone does something too technical, we just throw it in the trash. and say like, do that again, like do that elsewhere, this is a song. Yeah, so it's about the music, not about the, us as individual being musicians and trying to show off our talent. It's it most of all, it's about good songs and music.
You mentioned Sonic Pump. I actually visited Sonic Pump Studios last summer when I was in Helsinki. My friend Asim from Wintersun, he took us over there to give us a tour of the facility. So I got to see how it looks like. That's where you guys end up recording the album. It has a very homey feel to it. Was that important for you guys, since you guys have your own spaces there, to use that studio as your recording base for this debut album so that you can feel more at home, feel more comfortable?
Yeah, definitely. It's right from the beginning. It was clear that we do it here. Like it's I've been here for 10 years. It's my home. Well, you might know my husband Nino. You might have met him last summer. He owns the studio. so so the bald guy, maybe you know from Thunderstone
Mhm.
band. So this is really like the headquarters of myself and Demo and the whole Smackbound team. So so it's being produced here, recorded here. The only thing that it hasn't been done here is mixing, because that's Jesse Vainio who has his own studio up in the, I don't know, in an island somewhere. He moved out from Helsinki and he's totally deserted in some island.
He's
Yeah.
isolating himself. He was ahead of the times.
Yes. Yes, he was definitely.
This album to me has a great sound. It's so eclectic. There's no two songs that sound alike. There's no two songs that feel the same. It has such a diversity of sound, of genres. You guys really pulled in from a lot of different places. Is that a representation of who you are as a musician, and also where the guys are, that they feel like perhaps with Smackbound, their freedom of creation is a lot larger than it is with their own bands that they play in?
Yes. I don't know which I said yes to. There was like several questions
Yeah,
inside.
it was like a buildup of questions all in one.
Yes. But basically yes. So this is where we get to be, we're free to do whatever we want to do. And the reason for the album to be so versatile, the spectrum of genres put into metal, is because all of us are a part of this creative process, and all of us also listen to other stuff than metal. So you know, I like Leonard Cohen. I love him and his music. And someone Thomas listens to Zed, and you know, people are putting bits and pieces from all the good music that is in the world, and we're kind of gathering it all together and then trying to create something uh, that has a common or a mutual ground. So it's a wide spectrum, but somehow, you know, we started like, let's do Elton John. Like let's do an Elton John song, and we started listening to Elton John, and we ended up with Wall of Silence, and we were like, what the hell happened? Like in the morning we started listening to Elton John, and we're like, okay, we go this way. And it was you know, during midnight we had Wall of Silence, and we were like, this is very far away from Elton John.
You guys kind of got lost on that journey. At some
Yeah.
point in time, you got lost between morning, lunch, and dinner. You got lost.
Yes, at some point it became our own song. Yeah. So so the diversity is exactly because everyone has their own input, creative input to this music of ours.
Were you concerned that when you have an album that's this eclectic, that has this much difference from track to track, were you concerned that perhaps it was going to be hard to keep the album as concise as possible, feeling as one record and not just a collection of tracks? In my opinion, you did that with your voice. You kept the album connected across every single song. But was that a concern that you guys had, that you wanted to be as wide as possible as far as the sound, but at the same time, you still want this to feel as a record?
Yeah, that was an issue that I was worried about, and as an executive producer, I, I actually, I don't know if I could even say this, but I'm saying this. I actually pulled the record off from the press once because I changed one song. I was in Spain on a holiday, and I was listening to the master, and all of a sudden I felt like, oh my god, this is wrong. Like we put the wrong song here. Like it doesn't work in this context.
Hmm.
And I just, before I called the guys, I called the label and said like, take it out of the press, stop. Like we're gonna change the song here. And then I called to mix the song and master it, and then No, it was mixed already, but mastered. And then in the very last of the white lines, I made this decision because it worked better this way. So yes, I was worried, and I tried to keep it as a one unit still.
Yeah, you need the record to have that fluidity from track to track and not feel like just a collection of songs. I think you guys really achieved that with the record. And like I said earlier, I felt that your voice was that red line that worked all the way through the whole album, that really kept things connected, regardless of how different the music style was. Your voice was always very consistent, very strong across every single song. So it gave the guys the freedom to expand on their sound while you kept everybody under control. With your voice, you kept everybody reined in. Do you feel like the songs were perfectly constructed for your vocal approach and for your vocal style?
Interesting question. Yeah, I guess so, because
Well, you're happy with the
because
final material, so
yeah, and I'm it's because we're all part of the songwriting, and I do a lot of the melodies. So naturally, the melodies that we're composing are, to begin with, they fit my voice because I'm creating them. So so yeah, it's kind of, it happens when during the writing session, of course, that we check that it's actually working. And I always also think about the melodies and also the rhythmic things, as a as a I'm writing the lyrics. So as a singer, I always think about uh, this when I'm doing the melodies, that the rhythm and the melody should fit um, something that is possible to make lyrics for.
mhm.
So otherwise, there's going to be problems. So I'm always thinking the lyrics, even though I don't have them, but rhythmically and melody wise, I'm thinking them even beforehand while doing the melodies, writing the melodies. So this is like a one unit thing also. Like, so yeah, I think it's from the beginning, we are very aware of this, that we have to kind of glue everything together with the singing.
After listening to the album, there was three highlights on the record for me, and I don't want to give Temo too much airtime because he already gets enough airtime as it is. I don't want his ego to explode, so I'm not going to talk about his guitar playing. Your voice was phenomenal, like absolutely incredible throughout the record. Like I said, one of the beacons that really stays true from the first to the last song. And to me, the last element that really was outstanding on the record was the keyboards, the melodies that the keyboards created, the atmosphere that they added to the album. It was just absolutely phenomenal. They were able to add two different aspects, a symphonic side to some of the songs, and also a beautiful melody and atmosphere to some of the others. How was that work in order to incorporate those keyboards and those two different aspects of the keyboards into the tracks?
Well, we have a genius behind the keyboard, so it's it's just playing around, and it's just uh, we we do a lot together, but it's about also really being really talented with harmonies. So that's and as a player, of course, but the harmonies, he has a great talent to kind of um, see into it in a different way. So basically, it's Vili that is doing the work, because we give him the freedom to play whatever he wants, and if we don't like it, we just say, like, do it again. Like we did, like Wind and Water, last song. Vili had a great solo there, but it was a very technical one. So we changed it to a more emotional one.
And I think it fits the song better, in my opinion.
Yes. So this is the hard part where I have to say, like, I have to take your toys away, and you, you just have to stick with the, this wooden
Yeah,
block.
yeah. Do that on your own time. You're on
Yeah.
my time. You're on my time.
Yeah.
So you need to do what fits the song better.
Yes. Like, I know this is great, and I know you would love to play this, live. Like, I know that, but we have to take it off. Yeah. That's the hard part of being the executive producer here.
Well, but at the end of the day, you're here to serve the music and to serve the overall feel of the album. And in my opinion, I think you guys really deliver on that on every single track on the album. You don't really walk away from this record feeling that, oh, I wish they did this differently. No, the album is really well thought out. To me, it just when I listened to it, I felt the amount of work you guys put into the record because there was no stone unturned. When you look back now, and now too late now to call it off the presses because it's done.
Yeah.
So when you look at it now, do you feel that same way that you guys really didn't leave any stone unturned? Like this record is exactly the way you wanted it.
Yes and no. Yes. uh, yes is the short version. And no is that there is always like this perfectionist, I think, in each and every one of us. And in myself, I see that a lot. There's this perfectionist thinking that could we have changed something? Is this like I I do think of these things, but I am very happy with the result. So overall, uh, we are. I wouldn't change anything now. No, it is our first record, and it should be like that.
And let's hope first of many, because I really hope you guys don't stop here. Like this is just the door that opened, and now you guys can continue to walk through that door into future albums.
Yeah, we definitely hope so. So this is hopefully only the beginning, and we have started now that all the gigs and tours are canceled. So we've started writing the next album.
Perfect timing. I mean, there's nothing else to do, and that actually takes me to my last question for you: is with this whole Corona thing and everything on hold for God knows how long, at least for the summertime, with no shows, no festivals, no nothing. What do you have planned in order to not only stay connected with the fans, but also help promote this new record that comes out June 12th, just around the corner?
Yeah. Well, we like we're using the time to write the second album, so it doesn't take another 4 years for it to come out. So we are really trying to push it now, to be able to get it ready earlier than this the first one, which was it was the first giving birth to the first baby. It's always the hardest part. And now, of course, we are more aware of, like, we sometimes get stuck now in the songwriting sessions with overthinking, like, what should we do now? Like, what are we doing now? Where are we taking this? But we are trying to keep it free and play around as we did with the first one. That is one thing that we definitely are doing. Then we had actually just this those who burn single just came out, which is there's a lyric video on YouTube, and it came out right now. And then we have uh, we're doing these Corona videos, a couple of them, because we live in different countries. Like Them lives in Switzerland, so we can't actually meet. So we're doing a few versions of, like, Drive Like You Stole It, and an acoustic version of the game, and stuff like this. And also we have this making of videos that we're gonna put on YouTube after the album release. There's a lot of stuff about songwriting and recording the album.
And how everything came together.
Yes, yes, and how much wine we drank.
Well, whatever the amount was the necessary amount, because the final results speaks for themselves. I really want to thank you today for taking the time to sit down and chat with me about the record. Congratulations on the album. Best of luck with the release on June 12th. It's a magnificent album, and for anybody that's watching this, I highly recommend you guys go and pick it up.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Take care.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
You too. Bye.
Bye.